Hi everybody. Welcome to the final episode of the Kira & Co podcast, and it's not really a co today because it's just me. And this is like an episode that I've actually been really excited about because it's so much fun having all the guests in, but it's also so good to be able to just sit here and yap and cover a lot of things that I've wanted to cover throughout the podcast, but I never knew I was going to turn into Oprah Winfrey and be interviewing everybody, but I've loved every second of it. So now we're here and it's just me. I've got a lot of things I want to speak about, and I hope that this is just as entertaining as the fabulous guests we've had on, and we're going to round up a lot of good things and maybe spill some tea. I mean, I'm saying that like we're not spilling any tea. Maybe we are. I don't know. Right, so this is getting filmed. What date is it? December 13th. Oh my god. And we basically, I wanted to talk about the podcast and how we began the podcast and what's went on in my life for the past 4 months basically. We started this podcast in September, and what a wild story it is. I feel like I've been dying to share how this sort of came about, because this is so funny how this came about, because I think a lot of people have thought as well that, you know, the podcast is a lot to do with Aquarius and the management that I'm under, but it's not. It's my own thing and it's separate to that. I've done it on my own. I'm saying on my own. I have had the help from some fabulous people. But it's mine, and that's something that I really, really wanted to do, because let's just say how it is, I did get flung in the deep end with the whole influencing world. I mean, I was on a television show, and then I got signed, and then I started getting paid for stuff. And usually when you get signed to a management, you're already getting paid for things to do with influencing, and that's why you look for a management. But I just was in the deep end. Here we go. And I feel like I've been good at navigating that, and I've enjoyed it very much. But being able to do something creatively out with that and it to be mine means a lot. So let's talk about how it happened. Basically, I met someone in the pub in March called Grace, and it was actually on International Women's Day, which actually like makes so much sense. And I was out with my mum. I've got a blow dry that day with Kiwi & Co, and they were doing like a nice event with a blow dry, and I was like, this is cracking, like what a lovely way to spend your morning. Me and mum went for lunch, and then we were like, should we go into this wee bar, because we like the look of it and we've been in before, and we were like, don't know, and then we just went moaning in. We got drinks, we sat outside, and I sat next to Grace, and she knew me from my TikTok, which is so fun. And she was like, we got to talking, and she was like, you need a podcast. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. That would be something that I would love. She's like, I know somebody that has a studio. You can contact them. And, you know, he's really up for helping people, all this, local to the area, all this. And I was like, this sounds great. And I had about 8 vodkas. And I was just like, this is smashing. Yes, I'm going to contact him. This is absolutely brilliant. And that was March. And I never contacted the studio until September. So I was at the end of August. I was going to New York at the beginning of September. So I came into the studio and viewed this lovely booth, and then it's just been this ever since. It all happened really, really quickly actually, because obviously I waited a while until I messaged, but it actually came at the right point in my life. Like I couldn't have done this in March when I first met Grace, also couldn't have done it in June. September was actually perfect, and everything aligned with who I've done it with as well. Like it's just been lovely, and it feels like this actually does feel like my child. Do you know what I mean? Like it's done so well, and I don't know, like so many girls are loving it, and it's resonating with so many people, and it's just, yeah, it's been great. So it all happened very quick. Came in, saw the studio, and we filmed a trial episode with my pal Rachel, and I don't know if that episode you'll never see, because it doesn't look anything like what we've done so far. Like we didn't have a lot of the stuff that makes it the Kira & Co podcast, but it was a great, like content wise, a great episode. And Rachel came in and she helped a lot with that, because then we realised how we want it to look and what we need to change and things. And then we just started getting all these guests in, and we're here at episode 10. So yeah, I mean, I want to speak about the guests. Like, see, everyone that I've got on are people that I genuinely have had such an interest in, and I've wanted to sit on my couch. I mean, for example, and I've loved everybody. It's been so, so good. I didn't think that, like, see Molly McFarlane, I've said this, she is one of my favourite influencers and always has been, one of the first that I remember following as well. And she wanted to come in to my podcast. Like, it's just meant so much to me. And it's also made me realise how much I feel like I can do as well, because I've been the person that's getting the guests in, organising that, and then doing the questions, whatever, sitting on the couch and doing it. Obviously, I have had a lot of help, but it's made me realise I can actually do this, and it can be successful, and it can be my name that's on it. And yeah, it's made me also know that I definitely want to do more presenting. So, like I said, I never knew that I was going to turn into this, like, interviewer. Not that I think I'm, like, I mean, how many times can you say her name, Oprah Winfrey? Not that I think I'm, like, the best interviewer in the land, and that's not what we're also trying to do here. It's very conversational, it's fun, I want to, like, make people feel really comfortable and make it be super girly, and it's nothing too, like, serious either, which is, I think we've done that quite well with the first season. But when I was, like, thinking about doing a podcast, I was like, I definitely want guests on, but I don't know how that's going to go because I've never done anything like it. And I think, it made me go, actually, I really like being the host of something and being able to ask the questions, because I went on the radio like a couple of weeks ago. It was pure terrible, like, because I wasn't well. That was the only thing that was terrible about it. It was great. I loved being on the radio. Please ask me back. But I was, like, pure, like, bunged up, and I was just like, oh no, like, I can't be my funny self because I don't feel well, and, like, I'm somebody that gets not well and it's like the end of the world. So went on the radio and they were asking me questions about, like, the Scotland game and all this, like, and I was like, this is fun, like, I love this, but I feel more nervous being the guest than I do the host. So it's also made me realise what I want to do with my abilities. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to host more things and being able to, like, interview more cool and interesting people. Do you think this is good? Because I feel like I'm, like, this is just so funny, talking to the camera like this because it's not my phone.
It's
anyway,
great.
Love it. Right, great, thank you. So yeah, it's been very beneficial for me. That was a long-winded way of saying I'm dead happy with myself and I'm very proud. But I'm really proud of myself. And also, life has been lifing for the past 4 months. Let's talk about that before I get to the questions that I put on my story for everybody to ask me, because I've got some great questions here that I'm excited to answer. When I started the podcast in September, I had just came back from a holiday. I'd went to the Lewis Capaldi concert, like, the night before I came and saw the studio, and then, as we know, I've talked about Lewis Capaldi about 18,000 times since. I also was just about to start my last final year at uni. I was also filming a TV show, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And, there was, like, a lot, and I had a lot of cool opportunities with influencing at the time as well. Like, I'd just worked with Shu and the King's Trust, and that was, like, a huge thing for me. So a lot of that's happened at the beginning of the podcast, and then throughout, it's all been sort of continuing as well as this. And I've had a lot of girls, really lovely girls, message me and say, like, how are you doing this along with uni? And I'm like, I know it looks like I'm constantly, like, really busy on my social media and stuff, and, like, I am, but it's all fun. Like, this isn't, like, strenuous, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really lucky that I'm able to do stuff like this and have these creative outlets and be able to talk. Like, how lucky am I? Like, I recognise that, and I feel like a lot of times when you hear people in this type of industry speaking about things, I feel like a lot of the time it is people only ever saying, it's not all, like, fun and games, because you need to bear your all, and you need to, showcase a lot of yourself and people are always going to have something to say, and I completely get that point of it. But my outlook on it is I'm really lucky and like really blessed that there's people that even want to listen to me. So as long as I can continue to do stuff like this and people actually want to hear it and engage, then I am more than happy to share every single aspect of my personality, because people can say whatever they want, guys. That's another thing. Like, this is like, I'm sort of getting into the questions now actually, but I have a lot of girls as well saying to me, like, how did you get into this and how did you start this? And I've obviously touched on this in a couple of my episodes, like the one with Tony, we spoke about it a bit. But really, like, I have no other advice for you other than pick up the camera and be yourself. Like, everybody's trying to be somebody else and people don't want to be too much of who they are because they're scared in case somebody says something about it. And I always say I would rather be disliked for who I actually am than me putting on a character and being disliked for that. Like, take me as you will. If you don't like it, cool. I like it. So pick up your camera and start talking. Talking is the new... People want to hear you speak. And that's just what I did. I started talking about Morton's roles, like and everybody loves a Morton's role. That's why I was always so surprised that was something that did like kind of blow up, because I was like, everybody loves that. Like, I feel like it's not original, but people weren't talking about it. So I started speaking about these roles, and it got me. And now I have a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the ones. So pick up your camera and make the TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you've got it and you want to give it out, go for it. That's what I think. Anyway, I want to also speak about... Oh my God, look at all this. So someone asked me why I wanted to start my podcast, right? And I feel like TikTok is such a highlight reel, and it's only, people get short attention spans. And I also feel like I had a lot of girls asking me about like starting a YouTube and stuff like that. And I never ever was like, I don't know how to like really put the long form content out there, because I used to love YouTube when I was wee. Like, I used to make all these long YouTube videos, and I'd put them out, and it was always so much fun for me. And it makes sense that this is what I've ended up doing at 21. Do you know what I mean? But then I made them as well in my 6th year. I did a lot of vlogs and stuff like that, and they're all private now. You couldn't find them. But it was also so fun for me, and I love the memories of it all. But I didn't know, I was kind of like, I don't know if vlogging now and putting out like a long form YouTube video would be... I just don't know if it's something that people would want to see, or that I want to see, because my TikTok is like a vlog for me. So when the podcast came into it, I've always spoke about wanting a podcast. And then when I had this opportunity present itself, I was like, this is perfect. And I've got the chance to meet really cool people through it. So it was just something that I knew that I wanted to do at some point, and then it came at literally the perfect time. Yeah, it's been great. And I also wanted to say, like, I'm somebody that has quite a good balance with what I share on social media and what I keep to myself, because I feel like sometimes when we're talking about like bearing your all and being real with people, I think that that's a really, really key point in all of this. You need to be real with people, but I don't also say absolutely everything. So that's why I'm really excited about this episode as well, because I'm getting to tell you what happened in my life for the past 4 months. But yeah, we'll be getting to the questions, and that sort of covers some of what's been going on, because I feel like as well with doing the podcast, I haven't done a lot of my usual, like not too much day in the lives, because I've been like, just come watch the podcast. So, aye. Let me actually have a drink. I'm parched. What we thinking?
Unbelievable.
Because I'm kind of like, see, talking to this wee camera, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Right, good. Good, let's do this. So, the soundtrack to my life, at this time in my life, has been Olivia Dean, The Art of Loving, right? So that's one of my top albums this year. And it has actually been... He's laughing, it's not funny, it's serious. the soundtrack genuinely to my life since September. Did she release it in September? I think she did. I shared something on my social media the other day about how Olivia Dean has viewed. I put it in my important fold highlight on Insta, so you can look at it there. She's changed people's pessimistic view of love, and she is completely right. She talks about love in all these different forms and all that. It's not that funny. It's serious. Talking about love in all these different forms, and I love that. She's talking about loving yourself, loving your family, your friends, and how love can be like, we don't appreciate sort of like the love around us. We're always looking for something else, and it's just perfect. There's no skips. She's speaking to me in that, I felt, and I just loved it so much. So that has been something that every time I've got my AirPods in, that's what I'm listening to, and it's there's something in every song that I can relate to these little aspects of my life for the past couple of months, and I'm just like, I needed this. She actually released it at the perfect time as well, and it's just gorgeous. If you've not listened to it, you need to listen to it. And if you've listened to it but you've not, when I'm absolutely in love with that, then listen to it again and you'll love it. So, also, the song Ray sings this, Love of Your Life. I swear to God, right, I'm somebody that listens to my day list on Spotify all the time. So, like, these new songs that come up, and I'm like, it's funny, like, my phone thinks my Spotify thinks I'd like this, let me listen to it, right, whatever. That came up on my day list, and I was like, when did she release this? It must be new. It's years old. It's years old. Love of Your Life. Oh my God. Again, I want my like saying they wrote that for me, but I'm actually not kidding on. Ray, Love of Your Life is me in a song. Because it actually starts like, I can be intense, I can be a little obsessed. I'm like, that's me. So, perfect. That I've also found these past couple of months. Right, let's get into the actual questions, because I feel like I'm running roundabouts here and I don't even know what's happening, but I'm loving it. So, who would your dream guest in your podcast be? I had a lot of questions about that, and I had to think. I had a dream about Austin Butler last night, actually, and I can't really get into it too much, but I'm dying to say him because I had a dream about him last night. So if we could get Austin Butler, I would be buzzing out my nut. He's just brilliant, him, isn't he? If we could get him on the couch in Springburn, then we're on to a winner. But I feel like the person I need to say is Lewis Capaldi. We need to get him in. I actually thought he was going to be number 10. He's not here. I'm sorry, it is just me. But if there is a season 2, which you have to let me know if you want one, then he would be my dream guest. Like, I also would love Jilly Isabella. I would love to have her in. I think she would be cracking. We just had Mary McLeod in, a fellow redhead. If we can get Jilly in again, I just feel like there's a connection there. Do you know what I mean with these redheads? I always meet a redhead and I'm like, we're sisters. We're sisters, we're connected, and like if I meet a redhead and she's not automatically nice, there's been a factory default, because she should be like my sister. So, I think I'll get on with Jilly really well, and I'd love for her on. And then I've also just went for Harry Styles, because dream big at the end of the day. And Mary McLeod said that she could see me with him, and I thought, you get me. So get him in. We'll get him in, right? Something that I loved that somebody asked me. 2 people actually asked me this. The question was worded quite nice, so I thought I would read it out. You always say that you have no regrets because everything in life teaches you a lesson, but what is advice that you would give to little you? Now, I am only 21 and I don't ever want to act like I've lived a life of struggle and strife and I'm older than I am, but I genuinely do believe, like my granny used to say this all the time, that I have been here before. I do believe it. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know what. I used to think I was Lucille Ball in a past life, but that's another story. I have been here before. I don't know what the background is, but I just know I have. And I also think it's something to do with, like, I do feel like a wee bit, not like an old soul, because I'm very much Gen Z, but I just have this feeling in me that, like, don't know, that I don't want to say this because I know how this sounds, not like other 21-year-olds. I know how that sounds like, oh, I'm not, it's like that, I'm not like other girls, all this. I definitely am like other girls. We're all the same, we're all sisters for life. But do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel a wee bit more beyond my years. And I think that's also to do with my mum being older when she had me. My mum being my best friend, growing up around a lot of adults. It's to do with all of this, I think. And then also just like who I am. So my answer to the question, advice to the younger you, with that huge preface, is, again, only being 21, already I would tell younger me, I think that you should have told more people F off. I do think that. I think that that's great advice. You're living your life for you, not for other people. So what are we doing here? Trying to consider everyone else's feelings constantly when no one's thinking about yours? No. Tell them exactly what they need to hear. That's exactly what I think. And that's me only at 21. So I'm glad I've learned that now. I will be taking it forward. I always talk about not being a people pleaser as well, because I'm definitely not. I don't, like, I do live my life for me, but also with things that have happened in my life recently, I have been very impacted by other people's emotions, and I hear other people's, like, how what's going on in somebody else's life or how they feel about something that I've done, and I'm like, oh no. And then I feel really like I'll overthink everything, and I hate that I'm an overthinker. I actually hate it because to my core, that's not who I am. But yeah, recently I've been thinking about a lot of other people's feelings, and I'm just like, I can't help it, right? So I'm also a good person, but when no one else is thinking about yours, don't think about other people's too much. It's nice to acknowledge it and recognise that it's there, but don't let it take over your mind 24/7. You know what I mean? That's another part of that conversation. Because I could think about something for days. I could think about it and be like, oh no, what's this? And my mum's kind of the same, and she's like, you need to stop that. And I'm like, I know, it's terrible. But I am glad I'm learning that now again at 21, because I'm just going to have just an easy breezy life if we know that now. Do you know what I mean? I thought this was hilarious. There's not really any structure to these questions, but they're all just quite random, and I thought you'd like to hear my answer to them. What is your most embarrassing moment, right? I said this to my mum in the car coming here. I went, what is my most embarrassing moment? And it came to me. Let me fix my seating arrangement. So when I met a uni friend group when I first started uni, and they're all other theatre girls, and we all clicked, and one of the girls used to have a house in Fife. Was it Fife? Yeah, and Fife's obviously like right next to St Andrews. So we, in the first year, second year was it? I don't know, went to St Andrews, had a night out, amazing, came and stayed in our house after, like so good. We met this football team, because of course we did. We met this football team, and I went, oh my god, it's a full football team in the pub, I'm gonna go crazy, right? And I was like, this is brilliant, whatever. What happened? Nothing. So, great night out, whatever. Went back to hers, cool. The next year, we go to St Andrews again. Who's there again? The same football team. And it's like it was a random day in July, like on a Wednesday night. And I went, and there was a physiotherapist for the football team who was female. And she was like, oh my god, Kara. And I was pure, oh my god. She was like, are you here every year at this time? And I was like, not like on purpose. Like, are you? And she's like, yeah. And so, anyway, the full football team's there again. I can't believe my luck. No, they can't believe their luck. So, went to the pub, whatever, and we always had a good time doing this St Andrews trip, right? So I'm in the pub, I'm living life. Right, so basically I deck it constantly. I'm so clumsy, I'll fall walking into the kitchen, I fell in here, I'll fall everywhere, right? It's awful. And my mum's like, whenever I go on a night out, she's like, watch yourself in the heels, because I will just trip up constantly. It's ridiculous. And now I've got two really weak ankles, so it doesn't help. Basically, I deck it a belter in the pub in front of the full football team, and you would go, oh, whatever, like, not really bad, right? I'm wearing a skirt, so of course my entire arse is out, right? And I'm on the floor, and I thought, I'm just not going to get up. And so my two pals come over and they're like, come on up. And I went, can you just actually sit down here with me? So the two of them sat down with me and we just sat on the floor for a minute because I couldn't physically bring myself to get up after the full football team saw my arse, right? So that was that. And I just thought, you know what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And then one of the bartenders came over. He's like, do you want a glass of water? Like, thinks I'm just even drunk. And I'm not. Like, I just fall constantly. And I was like, yeah, like, thanks, whatever. And then we're there until the bar closes. And as we go to leave, the same guy that brought me the glass of water, keep in mind we're in St Andrews, was like, I love your TikToks, by the way. And when you fell, I was like, oh, is that the road girl? Oh, and I was just like, this is awful. Now he thinks I'm an absolute steamer. And you see my bare arse, so whatever. Wasn't bare, I did have knickers on, obviously, but like terrible, like really bad. So that was like my most embarrassing moment. Another really embarrassing moment is my mum loves to take pictures of me with good looking men. So anytime that we're out and there's a good looking bartender, there's a good looking anybody, get a picture with him. Come on, Kira, get a picture with him. I'm like, I don't want a picture with this random man, right? So if it was like Harry Styles, that's different, right? But random men that are just like semi good looking, mum's like, get a picture with him. I don't know what it is in her body. Like, I actually don't know. I've went, do not tell me to get a picture. She does it all the time. We went to a beach club in Tenerife and we were getting served by this another good looking guy, and she's going, get a picture of him. And I'm in a bikini, I know, and I'm pure, why am I getting pictures of these random men? But there's no telling Jackie no. So she gets this guy and me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm so sorry, my mum just loves to do this. And she, whenever her mum takes a picture as well, I'm no slagging her, I love her so much, but she'll go, and it's always so funny. And so I have this picture with this random man at Kelowna Beach Club in Tenerife, and it's actually quite a nice picture. It's a shame he's not my boyfriend because I would just post it. So that's another thing. So I'm dealing with that every single time I actually leave my house with my mother. And I still love her, obviously. So most embarrassing moment, yep, that's the two of them. Let's just say that. So, oh, this is a good one, I felt, right? Again, ties in exactly with what has happened in my life recently. How do you deal with friends that randomly become distant for no reason? And then another question I got about friends was, what's your best bit of advice for navigating / outgrowing friendships and new friendships while you chase your dreams? So, how to deal with friends that randomly become extremely distant for no reason is crazy because that happened to me. Again, in September, I had a similar instance, which I actually don't want to give too much acknowledgement to whom was involved, of course, but I think it's important that I talk about things like this for whoever asked that question, and also to keep it real, because life isn't sunshine and rainbows, and sometimes your pals stop talking to you, and that's just part of life. I think if people randomly become distant, oh my god, do you hear that, Ray? It's terrible. It's peanut there. Then they're not your people to begin with. Let's sit back and assess the situation. If someone can become distant or become strange or start acting funny with you, they're doing you a favour. Honestly, it's better that you find out now. And I don't know, maybe you've been friends with them for 7 years, and honestly, that is going to hurt. But it's better to find out sooner rather than later. I 100% believe that, because when this happened to me in September, I was going through this kind of strange situation, and people that I was quite close to would just sort of stop talking, and I couldn't really understand what happened. And obviously there's always two sides to a story. So somebody's always going to have something to counteract what you're saying's happened and stuff. So that's why I'm saying that, because I don't know, friendships can be difficult sometimes. And see, if they're difficult, they're just not supposed to be your pal, because they shouldn't be difficult. It should be easy. Basically, yeah, I was going through that and I was like, I'm so unsure what's happening here, because I'm really, really close to these people. And you know what? See, since I've stopped, I don't have them in my life anymore. I thought that it would be something that I was like really like, oh, this is like so strange and like upsets me. I thought that I was going to feel like that for ages, and you know, it only felt like that for 2 weeks. I have great memories with them, as I'm sure you do with your pals. Great memories and amazing like situations that you've been in, and lots of laughs that you wouldn't change. I look back on them all with extremely fond memories. But I have felt a lot more content since these people aren't in my life. And I don't think it's anything, I don't think they're bad people. I just think that sometimes friendships aren't meant to last for ages, and that's absolutely fine. I have other friends in my life, and I have other areas in my life that I am kept busy, so there's always a distraction when it was a bit sore still. So I think if your pals become distant, they're not for you. There's always going to be a rainbow at the end of the storm. That's what I believe. So I'll be your pal. Give me a message. Go for coffees. Go on solo dates as well. I find a lot of like enjoyment in being alone sometimes. Like, you are your own best friend, and I know it'll hurt for a bit, but also I do think they've done you a favour if they're being weird. Because listen, you don't want the weirdos in your life. Get them gone. And then the other one that I got was obviously making new friends or navigating navigating friendships that you've outgrown. Again, it's like a similar thing. I feel like sometimes friends are just in your life for a season and that's it. And it's a shame, because I'm a very all or nothing type of person. So if you're not in love with me as a friend, like, I'm in love with you, are you not in love with me? Like, let's, and then if it's outgrown or it's changing a bit, I'm always like, wait, what's happening? But I think sometimes it's just like, you're just different people, and that's absolutely fine. Sometimes it's hard to come to terms with, especially when you've got a personality like mine. I'm like, oh my god, like, something's changed here. But again, that is just life. And then navigating new friendships whilst chasing your dreams is something very important. You're going to meet new friends your whole life, and I love meeting new people. And you can chase your dreams and also have people around you and begin new friendships with people with similar interests, which I think is really nice. And I've found a lot recently. People that have got the same outlook on life, which is really important. You realise that as well when you get older. Again, only 21, I'm talking about, I'm 65. But you do realise that when you get older, like, wait, they're not in the same lane as me, or they're not pushing the same types of goals. And we can have different goals, that's fine. But when people are wanting to like act a certain way and you're like, I'm not sure about that, still love you, but I want to go here and you're maybe going this way, that's cool. It's nice to never fall out with people either. I don't like falling out with people. I like just remaining civil. So that's another thing when you outgrow friendships. When you're like, there's a big falling out, there's a big drama, it's horrible. And it's nice to just be civil and like leave things and be good. Like, who wants something nasty lingering? Not me. But again, sometimes you can't help it, and that's how the cookie crumbles. I've talked about that for 10 minutes, but hopefully that was some good advice. And actually listen to me, because I'm talking facts here. Don't be upset for too long. Right. How was your experience going on the Agency Unfiltered? Again, feel like I've answered this like before, but it's good to talk about. I had a great experience filming that show. I really did. I watched the show, season 1 and 2, and then I got approached to be in series 3, and I was like, do you know what, this is grand. And then I won. It was amazing, and it was so, so good, and it opened my eyes up to a world of different opportunities, and it was really good for me. The filming, it made me realise as well how I how I feel being in front of a television crew. I want to be an actor, so it made me realise maybe I want to just be on the stage, because being in a television crew and there being that many people is a different type of feeling than being on the stage and seeing an audience. So it was good for me in that aspect as well. And also, again, I was only 20 when I did that, but it just is something that I'm really proud of as well, because not every filming day was easy for me. Sometimes it was kind of difficult, and you're navigating different types of personalities. And I'm somebody that wants to get on with everybody, but I'm also cool if you don't get on with me. To get me, I want to be everybody's friend, but again, it's fine if we're not. So navigating different personalities and knowing where you stand, and being in a competition was kind of difficult, but I'm really happy when I look back on it with how I handled everything. So it was a good experience, and that leads me on to some other question. I don't know who keeps beating this phone. That's terrible. Sorry. Would you go on another TV show? Somebody asked me, what's your dream television show? I would love to be in a drama. I would love to be in a drama. I think they're filming a new series of Benidorm, and sign me up. I love Benidorm. It's one of my comfort shows. If I could be in Benidorm, something dead funny for the British public, I'd love it. But I want to be on the stage. So honestly, like, I would love these opportunities to present themselves. I'm also looking for them too. But whatever comes up, I'm taking it by both hands, and let's just do it all. So I'm up for it all. I wonder if that person that asked that was meaning Love Island, because that's something I have spoken about many a time, actually, privately. I would do Love Island. But I also don't think I'd fancy it. Because I think I'd be like, user or annoying me. Because the type of guy I like doesn't go on Love Island. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but we'd see. Maybe we would go on Love Island, because maybe we would. I don't know. We'll just see. But I need to graduate this summer, so I'm not going on it this summer. They've not asked me, and I also wouldn't apply. But there's that. So, that's actually the next question. So there's two questions that were really similar to this. Since boys suck, tell us about your dream man. What will he be like, and when can we meet him? That's funny. And then somebody else said, what do you feel like your type is? Who/what would you envision your husband? 21. What would you envision it would be like? Right. Dream man is, again, something that I have been thinking about recently. Listen, on the episode with my mum, if you've watched that, I'm somebody that's like, I would like 18 boyfriends before I have a husband, right? Which people can take that as they will, right? It's not as if I'm like going out with somebody for the sake of going out with them, but also, like, I think it's nice to experience different types of love and things like that. So that's why I'm also like, I don't know about the dream man right away, but then I know what's going to happen to me. I actually physically know this. When I get a boyfriend, I'm going to be like, he's the only man to ever exist. So I need to it's actually better I don't have one right now. Because it's not good for me right now, actually, mentally. So my dream man, yeah, so when we were speaking about this with Mary in that episode, obviously that'll have came out when you see this. I thought that I wanted someone that matched my energy, right? And I've realised that I actually don't think it's like not matching an energy thing. I think I want someone that's like my pal Marcel. I've mentioned him again. But I really like someone that's like got a really calm aura. I've always actually said this. I want someone that could be the centre of attention but chooses not to be, because he lets me do it. Not that we can't both dance up on the table, like, we can, but I would rather he was someone that could do that and would sit back and go, look at her, isn't she cracking? Do you know what I mean? Like, someone that puts me first, and then if he wants to get up and dance on the table, I'd be like, he's brilliant, isn't he? So it's like we can share that, but like that's something that I've always actually said, someone that wants to be could be centre of attention but chooses not to be. Because I do like a calm aura. I really like someone gentle. I really like someone soft, kind, but I also like someone ambitious, someone driven. And I am a personality person. I definitely like, when you actually look at my track record of who I've liked before, they all kind of look a similar way. But I don't have a type. I just like what I like. If you're good looking, you're good looking. But also, it's about personality for me. And when can we meet him? You can't, because he doesn't exist yet. I've not met him. But I'll let you know when I do, because you will be seeing an absolute, you will be seeing a hard launch on the social media. You will be. I'll be like, this is my boyfriend. Look at him. I will be. So you'll see him. I was going to say you'll see him soon. You won't. But you'll see him at some point. But yeah, that type of guy that I've just described there is who I see myself with. And I was also talking to my mum about this today. This sort of leads me into like dream life, dream goal, because there's some questions I've got as well. Like, my end goal is to be an actress, a really successful actress, a presenter, someone that helps people as well. Maybe I'll be a motivational speaker. I'd love to have a TED Talk one day. I'm not sure what it would be about, but I would love to do that. Have my own radio show, all of these things. But I would also like to be successful with my partner as well. And then I was talking about this in Costa with my mum today. How funny am I? But basically, I was thinking about who I am as a person, right? And I love Wayne's, right? I am not planning on having a child until I am in my 30s, because I've got a lot of things I want to do first. But I love, nobody loves babies more than me. I love them, right? They're so special. I see myself being like a safe space for children that need it in the future. So I don't know whether that's fostering children or what that is, but I would love to be the home that we can help people, like children that need it, out, because that means a lot to me. And I do see that in my future. I also see a Tiffany engagement ring. So they're a couple $100,000. So I'll need to make sure I'm sitting pretty with the money to get one of them. Look at me, look at me. So yeah, that's what I see. Lots of success and happiness and healthiness, because that's most important. But yeah, that's what I envision. Fave place / least fave place to go out in Glasgow, and thoughts on Glasgow's going out scene at the moment. Right, favourite place to go out? I've been on record saying I hate Wonderbar, right? I've been on record many a time actually saying that. But what I'm going to say is I always end up there. I always end up there because I think everybody knows there, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. But I don't know my favourite place. Like, I really struggle to say my favourite place. It's not my favourite place. Wonderbar's not my favourite place, but I would go there. I don't know what my favourite place is. I know they're really trying to make Glasgow's club scene better, and I'm glad that they're trying to do that. When I was 17, I absolutely loved Kokomo. Oh my God, you want to have seen me? I was in that Kokomo and I was like, this is the best place to ever exist. I would never say that now, and it's shut and they're opening a new club there. But I think I'm glad that they're trying to do better at it. What I think about it as a whole is bring back the DJs. That's what I think, because I'm kind of sick of the live singers. I enjoy everyone's musical talents and gifts. I think it's great to give everyone an opportunity to sing and showcase us how great they are, but once in a while, no all the time. You alright, aye? No all the time, because the live singers is like, it's getting a bit much. You know what I mean? It's getting a bit much out there. That's how I feel. Watch me end up with a guy that's a live singer in Wonderbar. My least favourite place to go, I'll have a good time anywhere. I genuinely think it is as well, like the people you go out with. Have you ever been out with somebody boring and you're like, what? I'll go home right now. I'd have a better time in my living room than being out with you. So I just like, it's who you're with a lot of the time as well. Who wants to sit there and mew? Not me. I want to get up and dance. Anyway, that's what I think. What would you say being an influencer has taught you, slash another question, what's the most exciting thing about that social media has allowed you to do? Influencing's just taught me, I feel like everybody would think this is all cliche and stuff, but honest to God, like, stick true to you. Don't care what anybody says. Like, everybody else is already taken, so be you. It's original. People want to see you. Also, the types of people, I've met some people at events, and I've just thought, do you get by like this every day? Like, just funny. Like, people are scared to be them, I think, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? Can we not? How good would it be if everybody was just real and upfront with everything? I only want to be around people that are upfront. See people that don't say stuff as well. That's my biggest pet peeve. Like, see people don't say how they feel. I hate it. And I get that you're not always going to say how you feel about absolutely everything for the sake of somebody else or whatever, but do you know, just say how you feel. See, whenever I watch like a rom-com and it's like they're not telling each other how they feel, you're like, just tell them. That's how I feel. I'm like, oh my God, can everybody just say it? What's the worst that can happen? They go, I don't like you back. Sorry, I've just went on a tangent there. But do you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying that I wouldn't maybe say if I liked somebody, right? But like, I would if I knew that they liked me, right? But see this, I am like sometimes I'm just like, do you know what? Life is way too short to not tell people how you feel. So I'll leave you with that, right? I'll tell everybody. I'm going to leave here and I'm going to phone exactly who I needed to phone. Do you know what I mean? I'm kidding, I don't need to phone anybody. So being an influencer as well, it's the most exciting thing that social media has allowed me to do is working with incredible brands like Schuh and the King's Trust. That has to be one of my top faves. I thought King's Trust was like unbelievable to work with and like very eye-opening as well, and Schuh were in a cracking brand and everybody was so nice, and it was like I presented like their event for the day and I just was like felt very like privileged and very touched that they wanted me to do that, and I was just like, I feel dead blessed. So it was cracking, and it was another presenting thing that made me go, this is what I want to do. I'm going to present like my life depends on it. And yeah, so social media and my exposure allowing me to connect with brands like that, I think is absolutely smashing. And I'm just really happy. What would you say is the key to your confidence that you have today? Oh my God, my toe just clicked. I think knowing what you bring to the table is an absolutely huge factor. That's another quote, right? But I know what I bring to the table, so I'm absolutely fine to eat alone. I think that is a quote to live by. I am cool to eat alone. More than cool than be surrounded at a table that don't get me and don't see who I really am. Being really comfortable in yourself is the key to confidence, and it's how do you get comfortable in yourself, knowing that there's only one you, knowing how much the light that you bring to other people's lives and all that. It's like, I think a lot of people have an issue with women that are confident, and it's a multitude of things and factors that bring that are in this conversation, and it's a lot to do with society as well. A woman that's confident is like, oh well, she's no humble, she's too full of herself, all this. Nah, everybody's lying to you. You can be confident in yourself and be humble, but when as soon as you talk about knowing who you are and what you bring to the table, it's, oh, well, she's this and she's that. You just need to ignore that, because society want to bring a lot of confident women down, because it profits better when women are insecure. But we're not here, aren't we not? We're confident individuals. There you go. Have you always been a role lover? Yes. So I have always loved a role. Ever since I was born. I don't even know. Like, do you know, when was your first Morton role? I actually don't even know. When was the first? I can't even mind. I've been eating them my whole life. I have always been somebody that absolutely loved a roll. I would always get a roll for my lunch. So, nipple check. Yeah, I've always loved a roll. Who hasn't? If you're from Glasgow, it just makes complete sense, doesn't it? Love the podcast. How has it felt in terms of being a host and getting to play the role of an interviewer for new guests each week? I've sort of answered that, but it's been unbelievable. I've actually had the best time, and it's just been great. I've loved it, and I'm an interviewer now. That's my new line of work I'm getting into. How do you navigate social media for the fake place that it can be sometimes? I feel a lot of people online are not what they seem to be in person half the time. I get that, but I have navigated that by meeting everybody, putting my best foot forward, and realising what type of people are for me. It's just like with anything in life, you know who you want to be surrounded by, and I can meet you and I can know exactly, I'm like, right, they're my person, or nah, they're not. And I'm quite selective with who I like to be around. I want to be around lots of people. I love company. But I don't want rotten company. And if I feel an ounce of anything other than complete happiness, joy, and laughter, then no thank you. You know what I mean? So I've done it like that. I think as well, it's like the confidence. It's like knowing who I am and what I can do. And I'm content with the fact that I know that the person you see on social media is who you'd meet the day if you met me. So yeah, that's it. What would your... Oh no, I've answered that. What do you think of girls that get filler? I think each to their own. I definitely think everybody can do exactly what they want with their bodies, and I think that that's... If that's your game, that's your game. That's what I think, because I think it makes a lot of people feel better about themselves, and that's what you want. You want to feel comfortable in your own skin, and if that helps you, I think on you go. But I've also heard a lot of girls saying like, oh, I got this work done and it didn't make me feel any better about myself, like the work I had to do was in here. So it's like a difficult one, because you know there's a rise and all that, like getting your lips done and stuff, and then all of a sudden everybody's getting all their filler dissolved. So it's a tricky one. For me personally, I'm quite content with what I see in the mirror right now. Who's to say when I'm 40 I might not go, listen, I'm going to get this. Do you know what I mean? But I'm only 21, and I feel like if I was to touch my face right now, for me personally, that wouldn't be good for me, because I'd like to be enacted as well. And I feel like sometimes you just need to just maintain your original look for that type of thing. But if it makes people feel better about themselves, and you feel happy, you're doing it for you, you're not doing it for anybody else. So you do you, is what I think. And we're sort of nearing the end. What is your favourite perfume? Right, my go-to, if you want to know what I smell like, is Olympia Paco Rabanne. I don't have any of it right now because I go through it like a bottle of water. I love it so much. It is my scent. But I'll tell you this, I never had it for months in the middle of the year there, and I've had it for months because it's like £100 for a bottle. And then I got it for my birthday, and I put it on, and I never get compliments in that perfume, right? But I know I love it. I put it on for my birthday. Everybody was like, you smell gorgeous. And I was like, it's funny that, because none of you complimented this when I've wore it for 3 years. But it's because obviously for the I don't know, 4 months before that I was wearing a different perfume. People must have thought I didn't smell it myself. And then I smelled it myself again when I wore Olympia. So I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Right now I'm wearing Prada Paradox. That's another absolute fave. That's in my bag. Yeah, stunning. Gorgeous stuff. And it reminds me of winning the agency and being on the agency and all that, because it was the perfume I wore then. So I like having scents for different moments in my life. That's another thing I like to do. And also I like to give songs to people. Have I told you that before? I love to give songs to people that I've met in my life, or like to things. See every guy I've ever fancied, they have a song. I've gave them a song. I'm mental in it. How nice though. How nice that I have thought of you and you have a song. Lucky you. Anyways, last one. What has been your most memorable moment from filming the podcast? I feel like I can't really speak about this too much, but when we did the Mark Thorburn episode, there was a lot more people in the room than you think there were. And what was that for? I'll leave that with you. However we think, you'll know. But that was quite memorable because we just sort of started the podcast and we were able to do something really cool with it. And I was like, that's what life's about. And it's been cracking. But I couldn't have done this without the other person sitting in the room right now. And that's just a bottom line fact. Ah! Oh, how fabulous! I didn't even notice that. That was gorgeous. Oh, I love this. What are we going to do about this? Yeah, I really couldn't have. It's been great, and I only met this person 4 months ago, so life's crazy, isn't it? That was amazing.
That's a lot more powerful than I thought.
That was really powerful. But yeah, I'm also going to leave you with one other thing that I have really thought about this past quarter of my life. If you're doing something, right, I think I'm Gandhi, pure all this advice. If you're doing something that you can't tell your best friend about, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And I'm going to leave you with that, because that's something that I had to tell myself recently, and I was like, oh, not that it's never bad, but see if you're ever holding something back for your best pal, think about why you're holding it back. Get me? This has been so much fun, and I'm really excited about the whole series. Everybody's love and appreciation and DMs and everything's been cracking. I want to thank everybody that's came on the podcast as well, because it's just been unreal and we've absolutely loved it. So if you want a series 2, you'll have to let me know, because I'd love to come back for one. Love you.